Well, hello there, motherfucker. So I'm here with my take on the presidential debate from last night. So I would have loved to put together, a picture-in-picture thing where like I do the show you the debate because the debate is public domain. It's free for fair use. And I could do like one of those picture-in-picture deals and like talk over it. I'd love to do that. The only thing is like whenever I download any type of software, it never works properly. If anybody has got some good editing software that I can use to do that type of shit to better this channel, to give some more unique content, please show me how to do that. Thank you. Yeah, write it down in the comments, please. If you could help me out with some of that stuff. I'm not always the best when it comes to finding good software, good quality software that won't slow my computer down, where I could bring you guys, because the videos are for you guys. So if you want to see those videos, help me out. I thank you kindly. Anyway, so Lester Holt. It's funny with Lester Holt. Like when I think about this guy, I think back to when I used to work at Pepsi, actually working like at the bottling plant, and I used to do night shifts there. And they used to have what was that show that was on ABC? Really late at night, and he used to host this show. It used to be on like at 11 o'clock or so at night, and Lester Holt would be hosting it. Whatever it was, it just is a memory that I have. Not particularly a fond memory, but that's how I got introduced to Lester Holt. This was back in 2006. So Lester Holt was chosen as the moderator for this debate. And I don't watch NBC News, but apparently he's taken over for Brian Williams. Um, so Lester Holt was the moderator. And boy, oh boy, I mean, I am not surprised that this was one of the most one sided debates I've ever seen in my life, concerning the moderator and obviously who he was helping out. And he was against Trump from the very beginning. What a cockeyed, cockamamie, just disgustingly moderated debate. Hillary Clinton was shown like bending down, like in the beginning. You could see these photos online. She obviously was mic'd up, um, you know, and you could see that, some people are going to make the argument that this equipment was for her microphone, uh, but she had something in her back. Now, I know people are going to say it was for her microphone, but also you can see that she did, in fact, have an earpiece. Once again, she also had it at the presidential forum about a week or two ago. So she obviously had an earpiece where she was being fed information. There were many times with Hillary Clinton where she was just smiling during this debate, even though things about her emails was coming out. She's doing her best Joker impression, and it's just like, what is wrong with this woman? But anyway, so Hillary Clinton did not get hit with any separate questions about the emails, about Benghazi, about Whitewater, about the Clinton Foundation, where all this money is being funneled into it from all over the fucking place. Nothing about her being so heavily funded by Saudi Arabia. None of that. But we are going to ask Trump about an issue that was already settled about the birther controversy. Now, I know a lot of people are going to already thumb down this video because they already know about my stance about being pro-Trump and that I like Trump a lot, and I actually genuinely think that it's not a case of being lesser of two evils. I think Trump would be a good president. And people are going to discredit me for saying that. And the fact I need to ask is, why do you think he's not going to be a good president? The guy hasn't even entered into politics yet. So you have no way of rating this guy. It's like this. It's basically, you just have to have faith. Politicians have failed us at every turn. So why not try somebody who doesn't have a background in politics for a change? Someone who has ideas. You know how you guys all have ideas? And I know a lot of you, oh, I think I'd make a great president. Well, that's what Donald Trump is thinking. Except his ideas are 10 times better than yours, and they would probably work. And many experts are praising them. People that have actually seen results, you notice those are the people that are praising Trump, and the people who have yielded no results, those are the people who are bashing him. Just keep that in mind. When you have that many military personnel, generals on the ground who've actually been in the Middle East, who actually know what they're fucking talking about or endorse it, how do you respond to that? Is this what I'm asking? And they keep glossing over that. You notice that? And Trump keeps bringing it up and trying to really shove it down people's throats. And not that that's a bad thing. I use that expression because he has to hammer it home because nobody else will help him promote that fact that all these generals are saying Trump is good for the military. Trump is good for this country. Trump is going to keep us safe. Trump is going to lead the military to victory over ISIS and anybody else who's going to give us a fucking problem. We're going to finally be the superpower we once were that we haven't been since Ronald Reagan was in charge. So Donald Trump was attacked on the birther thing about not releasing his tax returns. The guy gets in the ultimate zinger of the night. Now, Trump was trying to be more presidential and, trying to play it nice. And, I see people were, saying like, oh, shaking hands and everything like that. Well, that's just how it is. The candidates always shake hands. Mitt Romney and Obama shook hands. Everybody shakes hands. So when Trump said that I will release my tax returns once you release all the emails you deleted, the 33,000 emails, it's like, does anybody not figure out, like, just that this woman should have been put in prison and that everybody else in the whole history that ever messed with sensitive information and ever did anything of the sort was put in prison and she's not in prison? It's like, does anybody, how are you people not focused on this? You don't care about it. You don't care that somebody who, you like to talk about justice, right? Be SJWs and everyone has got to, get justice, right? Black Lives Matter and all that bullshit, right? So if you're so focused on justice and everybody, getting the hand of justice, slapped across their face, okay, so Hillary Clinton was not brought to justice. So there is the whole hole in your argument there about being a social justice warrior. And I don't know why I have a little lisp when I always say social justice warrior, but I guess just the very thought of social justice warrior just fucking corrodes my brain. Just every single time I talk about social justice warriors, I want to vomit. I just can't think straight. It just gets me so angry that these people are such hypocrites, and it really is. It's like you're going to sit there and you're going to support Hillary. Oh, Hillary's got experience. The thing is, like what Trump said, she's been in politics her whole fucking life. She's a career politician. I live in New York. She was a senator. She did nothing for the middle class. Nothing. Nothing. There's not a single thing that she did to try to help anybody out in this whole fucking state. No, nothing with our inner cities. She did nothing for black people. She's been on record. You called Trump a racist, but this is the woman that says she keeps hot sauce in her handbag. Trump is out there actually, while Hillary Clinton is telling you, you hot sauce eaters, according to her, according to her, that you guys, you're right, the cops are evil, and, just lumping all black people together, just assuming that they're all Black Lives Matter, and they all have a problem with the police. Did we even ever, did she ever even talk to black people? Is she aware that, like, there's a lot of black officers? The whole situation in Charlotte that erupted, one of the reasons why it erupted, I think certain things about the riot are linked. People keep saying that it's about what happened in Tulsa. But I believe it's what happened in Charlotte, where the black cop shot the uh, the black perp, who actually had a gun, even though they were insisting that it was a book in his hand. And they keep on trying to get away from the fact that it was a black officer. And I did a video on this and I forgot to post it up, and I'm going to post a video. Just keep in mind that I shot it last week, so any like information that came out that I'm not mentioning that I didn't know last week is probably not going to be in that video, obviously, because it's from last week. But the thing is, she's talking about like all blacks are cop haters, all are Black Lives Matter. When in fact they're not. A lot of them support Trump, and as you can see, there's even a fraction of Black Lives Matter that doesn't like Hillary, that is against Hillary. Now, I don't know if they are necessarily for Trump, but there might be. I don't like Black Lives Matter. I think it's a militant group, and I think it's a domestic terrorist group in every way, shape, and form. I mean, here's the thing. Look at the rioters in in Charlotte, what they're doing. They broke into a Walmart. There's you see a guy stealing shoes. You see cash registers being broken open. They're beating down a white man. Where's the outrage about that? So it's okay to beat down white people, right? Beat him down. They're dragging him and kicking him in a parking garage. We see a reporter just fucking decked right in the face. Somebody else, another white guy, being pushed into a fire. Luckily, I don't think he got burned or anything like that. But, I mean, it's just fucking madness over there. And the thing is, it's like, how do any of these violent acts, how does this justify? But President Obama and Hillary Clinton saying it's okay. Trump is the law and order candidate, guys. I mean, look what's going on here. This Hillary is saying what's going on in Charlotte. This is okay. It's okay to protest like this. No, I don't think so. This is the reason why I was never a fan of Malcolm X or anything. Violence gets you nowhere. All right? Violence obviously doesn't get you anywhere. That's why they fucking killed Martin Luther King. The guy was making too much sense. He was bringing the races together. Then things were only made worse by Malcolm X, who just brought rage, fear, and just intolerance into the whole thing. Once you bring violence into it, you've just completely lost all credibility. I mean, I don't know how anybody could support these riots in Charlotte. I mean, honestly, what kind of a person does it make you when you say it's okay to do these violent things? How is this protest? How is that going to bring about change? I want one person to respond to this video and tell me how that is going to create change. How is it going to create change? How by doing these specific acts, stealing shoes and looting? I mean, it's okay. I guess they're trying to say if I could put my fucking brain inside the heads of one of these Neanderthals, maybe this is what it is. So you're making a big uproar, a big to-do, obviously a big violent to-do about, what happened in Tulsa and what happened in Charlotte with the black officer shooting the black perpetrator. So, you're trying to create awareness by doing this act. It's going to bring attention to, the situation. That's what's going on. But really, how is it going to change? Because you have a lot of people who don't think riots are a good idea. They're not a good idea. They create a lot of unrest in the community. It's not a good idea. It's never a good thing to riot. It's bad, and it's violent, and people get hurt. To say this is okay, so you're gonna protest violence by committing violence. How does that work? See, that's the part I don't get. It's like, so okay, so you're gonna commit violence against whites to protest violence against blacks, even though it was a black officer that shot the black perpetrator, who was armed, by the way. And the fact that they're showing the guns at the scene, they have photographic evidence that there was a gun, and his family is insisting that it was a book. Yeah, because that's how it is, right? Every dangerous criminal that gets shot, they're all innocent, right? Everybody is fucking innocent. They're all scholars. Everybody's reading a book. Nobody has a gun. Nobody's violent. Move along. Nothing to see here, right? It's not a gun. It's a book. Do you really think that the black officer is going to shoot the black guy? Well, what is it? Racism? No, I mean, okay, unless he hates his own race. But nobody likes to address these things. Shoot him because he has a book. I don't think anybody would think that a book looks like a gun if in fact that's what it was, because it was not. So meanwhile, while Hillary Clinton is trying to spew this garbage, trying to manipulate people's minds who are listening to the debate, and I assume this is Hofstra University. I don't know if there's any, inquiring minds in the audience who, attend the college, but they're listening to this. And Trump, meanwhile, is talking about Chicago, the president's hometown. He's talking about how that fucking inner city is a mess. How many murders have taken place. That I don't think it's Chicago. Well, maybe it upseated. It used to be Washington, D.C. used to be the murder capital. Now I think it might be Chicago once again. I guess they trade on and off. They're both just horrible. But anyway, whether it's Detroit, Washington, D.C., or Chicago, it's all the same thing. All these areas with all the strict gun control laws, and we still have all these fatal shootings. I mean, how are they getting these guns? You know what I mean? It's like not for 1 second does anybody say that these guns are being purchased illegally. And I'm going to be honest, there were a lot of opportunities where Trump was playing it way too nice, and he should have went after Hillary. But the reason why is because Hillary was basically being promoted here. She almost is thrown in prison. The only time you heard about the emails is when it came out of Trump's mouth. So Lester Holt talks not only about tax returns, he talks about the birther claims that that Donald Trump was making about Obama, even though he already addressed that. But we don't talk about any of the negativity surrounding Hillary Clinton. And there's so much of it. Donald Trump has to explain himself on everything, even things that he's already explained on the campaign trail and all the speeches. Meanwhile, Hillary Clinton is a very sick woman. She's taking naps. She doesn't have to answer any of these questions because she's simply not there. Trump is there talking to people, risking his life by talking about certain controversial things that people don't want to hear, refuse to hear. And meanwhile, Hillary Clinton's taking naps because she's too sick to be on the campaign trail. It's just unbelievable. I mean, and I had one friend on Facebook that was saying that's because, you had Matt Lauer giving softballs to Trump. Really? Softballs? You thought those were softballs? See, it's not crazy that somebody would ask Hillary Clinton about emails. But why are we asking Trump about the birther thing? What does that have to do with the issues at all? Yeah, Obama had a very, very shady past. His mother was basically a whore. Look it up. I'm not just saying that because I don't like him. But there were things that really needed to be addressed about this guy's past. I mean, he had one hell of a shady fucking past. I mean, the church he used to attend, the way how this guy used to dress. And as he even pointed out, even Hillary Clinton was showing that Obama was dressed like a Muslim in traditional Muslim garb. And we don't even stay on that topic. Basically, if you really do the math, they spend so much time on the taxes, so much time on the birther thing, it ate up like half the debate, 3/4 of the debate even. And we're staying away from all these things. Hillary Clinton's non-existent plan on how to deal with terrorism. We're staying away from the fact that she got 4 people killed in Benghazi. that she destabilized the whole fucking region in Syria. We're not going to talk about any of that stuff, but we are going to talk about tax returns. Hillary Clinton put the whole nation's security at risk with emails. And what is she doing? She's saying, "Oh, Russia's hacked." I mean, where is all this coming from about Russia? Where's Meanwhile, Trump is pushing this whole thing about China. China hates us. China wants to do us in. He's the only one bringing it up. Lester Holt with all these fucking questions that were just designed to just make Trump look like a fool and make Hillary Clinton look like she was, just had no record at all, that she was completely innocent of everything. I mean, how the fuck could they ask him that? I don't think it's what my friend on Facebook said, that they were trying to even it out because they asked her about the email, so now they're going to ask Trump about the tax returns. Who the fuck cares about the tax returns? He already released some record of his financials. Does anybody really care? Are you really going to sit there and look through his whole tax returns? Like, are you really that concerned about it? Or are you more concerned about what is he going to do for employment? What is he going to do to protect this country? We just had a big bombing here in New York where luckily most people weren't hurt. There was one in Jersey, a maniac running around in the mall in Minnesota stabbing people. Some new situation came up, another violent attack by someone who was from Turkey, and they tried to say that the guy was Hispanic. And we're labeling people different races now, trying to pin a crime on a Hispanic man when in fact it was just another Muslim. But this debate was, let's try to take the focus off Islamic terrorism, even though that should be one of the main focuses now, and let's put it on Trump. Tax returns, birth. All these are such important things. We can't trust Trump because the guy questioned Obama's questionable past. I mean, don't you think we should question a guy who has such a shady past, who's running the fucking White House, who's running the fucking country? You don't think that maybe we should question that? That, maybe this guy is using his fame to at least try to put things out there, to at least alert the public to something shady that might be going on. But it's in the past. Trump already said he doesn't want to talk about this anymore. There's more important things to talk about. I mean, don't you think? Instead, we're going to stay on this very topic. I mean, it was like disgusting already. At every turn, Trump is dropping these figures that we knew for years were true, like murders about Chicago. Holt is questioning him. Hillary's questioning him. He's got people questioning him from all sides. Thing is, it's like we all know this is true because we're living in New York. That's what I loved about this debate. If there's one really positive thing I can say, is obviously Hillary lost this debate. Most polls are saying that she lost. So even though they tried their hardest to make Trump look like a fool, he won. He won again, just like he wins at every debate. See, that's the thing. They try to doctor the polls, but they can't doctor the polls that much because almost everybody, believes that Trump has won. Just a couple of slimy polls like the CNN one, big surprise, says that Hillary won. But it's like, it's people see that Trump is right. I mean, you want to go by the numbers. So right here, the mainstream media. It's mainstream news. Trump won. We're seeing it right there. And so it's for all to see. But they're questioning his figures. Like I said, it's taking place in Long Island, New York. Everybody is there to see for themselves. Okay, so they might not be part of, there's a lot of technicalities about Long Island and what borough it's a part of. And even for many years, I believe that it wasn't even one of the 5 boroughs, that wasn't even part of New York City. But in fact, it actually is part of New York City. Believe it or not, in technicalities, it is. Look it up. It's weird. I still kind of, in my own way, don't consider it part of New York City, but whatever it is. Mayor de Blasio Ever since he took office, crime has been on the rise. Trump points this out because he's a New Yorker. We kind of know these things. And Hillary Clinton, who was the senator of New York for whatever fucking reason, saying that it's not true. And I think maybe even Lester Holt might have butted in, at this point. But the thing is, we all know we live in the fucking state. We live in the city. We know the numbers. Don't try to tell us that it's not true. The guy's only lived in New York his whole life. And for some reason, we're trying to, doctor these numbers up. I'm sick and tired of it. I mean, are you sick and tired of, oh, no, it's this? No. This is how it is. Those are the figures. That's the truth. All right? When Giuliani was mayor, crime went way down. Way down from when Dinkins was mayor because he was a fucking disaster. He also touted and promoted these community policings. The thing is, if you're any sort of law enforcement and you don't have a gun, you're fucking history, all right? It's not going to work. Unless you are armed to the teeth, no one is going to respect the law. That is why criminals fear police, is because they're armed. And they know that if they do something out of line, they're going to end up getting shot. But recently, this country has taken on a narrative where, criminals are being sympathized for whatever reason. That's the narrative. That's how they want it. They want the people to accept pure lawlessness as the norm. I mean, what's next? Are we, we're going to have like a full-on shootout? What does it have to come to a shootout in order for a police officer to be considered right in a situation? Back in the day, it used to be like, oh, the guy had a gun? Yeah, shoot his ass before they shoot you. I posted this up on my Facebook, too. They had like a dashboard cam of a guy had a gun. The cop tried to play it safe and busy. Put the gun down, put the gun down, put the gun down. And he gets gunned down. The officer got gunned down by the perp. I mean, see, this is what happens. You try to be a nice guy. You try to play it safe. And that's what's going to happen. You're going to get your ass killed. And that's how Hillary would have it. The police would be downsized. She'd probably cut jobs on the police force. The NYPD. She'd probably see to it. Because, de Blasio loves Hillary. So they're going to be, they're going to be aligned step by step, basically. And all these other, we're going to cut down. She's going to cut down on police because police are evil. Then, before you know it, when she starts to outlaw the Second Amendment or whatever it is, maybe they're going to get the Second Amendment removed through illegal ways, maybe through executive order. Who the fuck knows what she's going to do? We know that she is so heavily anti-Second Amendment, she is going to unarm the police. Now, where is this information? I'm just telling you, you can just see how it's going. If she's that much on the side of Black Lives Matter and she wants to try to get the police to be as pathetic as possible and kneel before Black Lives Matter and kneel before these criminals, that's what they're going to have to do. They're going to have to unarm the police. But what else are they going to do? You know that's the way it's going, and eventually, if they're that Second Amendment, it's going to be illegal to have guns at all. But of course, the criminals are still going to have the guns because they don't follow the Bill of Rights. They don't follow the Constitution. They don't even fucking care about that shit. All criminals want to get money by committing crimes. That's what they do. They don't give a fuck about laws. They don't abide by laws. That's why they're criminals. So it doesn't matter gun laws because they're going to break the law and get the guns anyway. So they can commit the crimes, so they can instill fear in people, so they can steal money, steal goods, whatever they have to do. It's the whole reason why the Second Amendment was created, is to be able to protect yourselves against evil people. But nobody wants to read that far into it, because you see, that's the way liberals do. They like to trap themselves into the tiny thought bubble where, oh, guns are bad, they kill people, so that means they're bad, so we just have to get rid of them. You know, self-defense. How are you going to defend yourself against somebody who is armed? You have to have a gun yourself. Don't bring a knife to a gunfight. It's like what the oldest expression in the book. And I'm sorry if I'm getting off the topic of the debate, but these are the issues that are at hand here. That is basically what's being said. Trump is stating the facts. He's stating the facts. That's not really a big concern about the police. That's just a false narrative. Because the media only shows you the stories that they want you to see. And the stories they want you to see are the ones that are, reflecting negatively off the police. Even when it is a black officer shooting a black criminal who had a gun, who had every intent of probably shooting the officer first. So, I mean, it's basically, when you look at this debate, it's like exactly what Hillary Clinton said. What kind of country do you want to live in? That is basically what this debate is about. Do you want to live in Hillary's America, where there's complete lawlessness, there's riots in the streets, the cops can't even defend people anymore? Forget about them refusing to patrol certain parts of Chicago. They're not going to want to patrol anywhere if they don't have a gun on them. People are going to quit. They're going to say, fuck this. It ain't worth it to risk my life. I can't even defend myself because criminals have guns. A few isolated incidents where, and this is the craziest thing. Now people are saying that the woman in Tulsa only got convicted of manslaughter or brought up on charges of manslaughter, I think, at this stage in the game because she was a woman. And it's like, the thing is, there's so many women in power right now, especially due to feminism, that there is like really no case for this thing. There's no anti-woman movements. You've been led to believe this by the whole militant feminist movement. But the thing is, guys, I've had so many female managers. I've, gone to places where I've had things done, services provided, and women are in charge. It's like you see women everywhere in places of business. There's like a majority of women have city jobs. There's female bus drivers. There's female clerks at the DMV. They're everywhere. Women are everywhere. They're managers. Like, I don't see where the argument really holds any weight anymore. And Hillary Clinton's like, trying to sell this thing where we don't have like equality for women. We do. Or if we don't fully, we're pretty much there. We're like 99% even the way there. There might be some small statistics pointing otherwise, but from basically what I see with my own eyes and hear with my own ears, that's basically the way how I see it. I don't really see a lot of, anti-female shit going around. It's just basically what I observe in my day-to-day observations. So it's like, so you want this false narrative to run the country, basically. You want the anti-police, pro-Muslim narrative. You want all these refugees in the country. You think that's really a good idea after what happened in Chelsea? You really think that that's a really great idea? Especially if you're a New Yorker. If you're a New Yorker and you're voting for Hillary Clinton, you're out of your fucking mind. You just sat there, you got fucking lucky that you didn't get bombed and killed and blown up. You sat there and you saw what happens when we're negligent on 9/11. And you're going to sit there and you're going to cast your vote for it. The thing is, it's exactly like I said at the start of this video. It's what Trump said. Hillary Clinton had all these opportunities to do everything she's going to say. It's the same thing like Obama. Change. And boy, oh boy, did we ever get change. But in the wrong way. See, what did Obama do for the middle class? Don't you notice that nothing's happening? No one has prospered. Nothing has happened. You notice that you're paying more money because of Obamacare, because if you can't afford it, you get fined anyway. You don't notice any of this going on, that the Democrats are not going to help. And I'm not saying the Republicans are, but Trump's, a lot of the stuff he's proposing is going to help. It makes a lot of sense. If you give, this is the reason why, like, the companies are not putting out enough jobs anymore. Don't you notice what they do? They get taxed or anything like that. They're going to raise the price of goods. The groceries go up. Things go up. You notice everything like, oh man, prices are really going up. The food is like fucking outrageous, right? I don't know what it is in all the other states, but in New York, sometimes, prices are fucking just crazy for certain shit to buy. And why is that? Well, it's because these companies have to pay such high taxes. And so the thing is, wouldn't it make more sense if the companies could save more money? Because let's be honest, I'm not defending giant corporations here. I mean, because the thing is, like, I've worked for them my whole life, and they're fucking cheap asses. They're scumbags. They try to pinch every penny. But with that knowledge in mind, do you think it's a bright idea to tax them higher? And then they're going to be like, okay, we can't afford this, so we're going to cut, the manpower. We're going to cut, employees. We're going to cut jobs. We're going to lay people off. And it's like, you think that's a good idea? I mean, like, how can people not see that? That when you put more money into these companies, that obviously they're going to be more inclined to not do such negative things like cutting jobs and all that, because they won't have a reason to. You got to make sure they're well fed, because that is when they're going to, open up more positions for jobs. They're not going to go overseas. And it's like, people are failing to see this logic, because you see, all they see is, they're like, oh, well, this giant corporation's getting more money, and I don't have a lot of money, and they're getting more money. I don't like that, so I'm against this. But you see, you fail to see how this plays into the grand scheme of things. See, that's how it is. And that's how they always want you to be in college, whatever it is. Don't take your thoughts that far. Just go with liberalism. Just think about it that way. Rich people are evil, and and I'm not saying that they're not. There's so many evil rich people. Look at Warren Buffett, that disgusting Warren Buffet, we like to call him, that disgusting fat bozo he's friends with Trump his whole life, and then he turns against him because, well, he's against his private interests, because Warren Buffett's obviously doing a lot of illegal business practices, the same ones that Trump is being accused of, but is not. Warren Buffett is practicing, the one that supports Hillary Clinton. What a surprise. So they tell you, hate the rich, love the poor. The thing is, though, the poor get poorer, and well, the rich get richer by, if you take away their riches, they're just going to cut jobs. That's what they're going to do. How are they going to make that money up? Oh, I'm paying this guy this. Well, the less you have to pay an employee, the more money you're going to save. So it's a trade-off there. So it's like, that's what the Democrats rely on, you see, is they count on your ignorance. They know that you're middle class, and that, maybe you're too busy working and you don't have enough time to explore all this information. And so they want you to be ignorant to these things. And that's exactly what you're going to do. You're not going to look into it. You're not going to look into the alternative media. You're going to go by what the mainstream media says. And you're just going to follow along, just like a little duckling, and you're going to be like, oh, okay, so Hillary Clinton is going to take away from the wealthy. I like that idea because the wealthy is fucking me up the ass. But they don't tell you that if you piss the wealthy off, they're going to retaliate by taking jobs away because they want to save money. Because don't you see that if they're cheap asses, and that's what Hillary doesn't get in this debate. Because it's a really nice thing. Like Donald Trump said, it's all sound bites. It sounds really good. Yeah, give, take, do the Robin Hood mentality. But at the end, it's not going to work out. because you're going to lose more that way. Because that's why we've been losing so much. I mean, there's like sometimes you can't even think about like, okay, what jobs are there applied for? There's not really any industry jobs left anymore. I mean, these fucking things have gone out the fucking window. Not just out the window, but they've gone out of the country. So it's like, what country you want to live in? You want to live in one that's, I mean, this country's already practically third world. I mean, we're letting the third worlders in. We're opening up the door. Hey, we don't have any borders, guys. Come in. That's even more third world than any third world country, as far as I'm concerned. If you don't have borders, if you don't have any security, if you're welcoming in your enemies, you're not doing anything. You have this vicious bombing in New York, and Obama's not barely even talking about it. He's protecting his Islamic pals like normal. And it's like, okay, so Hillary Clinton obviously, wants to carry on Obama. It's going to be a third term. I know she's going to be healthy enough at least to get through a couple of years of the presidency. But this is what you want to do. You really want to hand to Hillary Clinton. It's just like, I don't see what everybody thinks. Like, what is so crazy about Trump? What is the things that you don't like about him? Is what I don't get. You see what happens when we don't have any borders. You see what happens when we try to do the whole Robin Hood mentality. Doesn't work. We lose jobs. We lose more and more jobs. We have bigger unemployment numbers. They try to manipulate the numbers on unemployment because people have just simply given up looking for jobs. So they're not factored into that equation anymore. We see what happens, when we let somebody like Obama into the White House, and when we let this whole mentality come about, we see that we're not going to be prosperous. We're not going to be prosperous. We are going to just completely just go around in circles until we're completely finished. Because things only get worse and worse. Don't you notice that? It's like, I can't see it. Like how people say that Obama's a good president. It's like you just have your eyes closed, I guess. Whatever it is, I guess these are the people that get EBT, welfare, and social assistance. I'm sorry. But that's basically the people that I have on social media that get some form of social assistance from these government programs, obviously. Like I said, I know how it works because when I had to have my scoliosis surgery, back surgery, I had to be out of work for a while. I applied for EBT. I didn't get that much. It's because I don't have kids. I'm not a minority. Thing is, it's like we like to live in this fantasy world. There's no black cops. There's no poor white people. It's just not true. Uh, you know, I just think it's that the people. It's so funny how you have a 94% distrust rating in the media, yet everybody takes whatever the media says at face value. So you're just saying you don't believe them, but everything they say, you use those statistics, you go by it, you base everything you post online about it. I mean, it's time to just ignore that shit already and just look with your eyes. Yeah, I mean, nothing has prospered under Obama. How did things get any better? They've gotten worse. And for you to say that they've gotten better, it's like, point out to me what's better about this country. Not a single thing. It's gotten worse. But I mean, by all means, if you think that the welfare state increasing is, it's beneficial to you, if that translates to being better, then okay, I guess it is. People will vote down the video, I guess. The thing is, it's like Obama's done nothing for the black community. He's done nothing for the middle class. He's only made them get poorer, more reliant on the government. That's a good thing. That's like you people don't trust the government, but you want your government programs. You want the government to help more, not let less government, so you have more opportunities, less sanctions. I don't, I really just, guys, I don't see the argument here. You know what I'm saying? The Trump hate, when basically if Obama is fucked up this bad, and Trump is actually promising things to be better. Guys, I don't get it. I don't see the argument. That's basically my thoughts on the debate. More videos to come.